Speak up, speak up. Did that fix it? Yeah, there we go. Like I said, the communication has really changed. And along with that, when everybody got cell phones, everybody got email. You know, they went hand in hand. So that's a big improvement. So now we can talk on a regular basis. And in Tanzania, everybody has WhatsApp, so it's fairly cheap. You actually call them up and have a voice conversation over WhatsApp. Just have to be aware of the time change. So that's made a big difference in how things go. Instead of waiting 2 days for a response, you can just call them up and ask. And more duties, the District Rotary Foundation. Yeah, that's part of that. We'll hear more about that at Pell's. I'll be at Pell's. Yeah. Grant subcommittees already there. Community service already there. It's a lot of this. The reason I was asked to do this is, as far as the district is concerned, is with international service, was because a lot of the duties overlapped with my global grants duties. So that seemed to be a natural thing. And the other thing that was kind of funny was at the training in Minneapolis, there's about 20 of us in that room, and I was the only one there that was not a former district governor. I'm not sure how that speaks for our district, but I was there.
Are you throwing your hat already?
No. Collaborate with districts, with the Rotary Act people, action groups. We have several action groups that we're involved with already, with the water and human trafficking and other ones. And I keep trying to find more ways we can get and more action groups working with more clubs and find other avenues that we can make things happen in different places. So that's good, and we will make it happen, George. Foundation cadre and technical advisors. Everybody know what the cadres do? They're the experts on, well, in the global grant world, they're the experts that go out when a project is in progress and make sure that the project is going as planned and everything's being taken care of as far as the documentation, the bank accounts, the spending, all the receipts, everything's being kept, all the reports are on time. That's what they do. And the ones we've worked with in Tanzania on the water projects love us because the group we have in Tanzania actually doing it are very, very good at keeping up with all the records. So it's one of those, if you like it, you really like them, yeah. Other experts that are interesting, and like I said, project applications. This can go on for a long time with that sort of stuff. So who are we? The chair, that's me. Among district international experience, leadership skills. Committee members, they prefer past district governors. I got a couple of those here we can work with. But most of these, they want people with international experience and at least district experience. And they ended up with me. So one of the big things that has changed in all this is impacts, the definition thereof. And the reason I bring this up is because it's going to be brought up a lot more across the world. Right now with our global grants, there's a place in the application they want you to put down, what do you expect for outcomes? What do you expect for actual impacts? Well, the impacts doesn't mean what we thought it meant at that time. They want you to look at impacts and say, those are the measurable improvements that you didn't expect to happen. So this could happen, 5 years down the line. Maybe even longer. Since I was the only guy in the room that had a little more international experience up there, I came up with the one quick impact that everybody thought was a great impact. So and that's with our water in Tanzania. We had been working on the first few projects with the Water Commission, the water district engineers, district people mostly, and then the Rotary Club over there was in charge. They were doing it, and things were working out well. And they noticed too that we had done, like I said earlier, with a VTT training the well drillers. That was part of it. And then when the fourth one came along, all of a sudden there was a new group involved, RUWASA, Rural Urban and Water and Sanitation Authority. I think it's authority. And after the meeting that we were, it was a Zoom meeting we were in with them, and we had to call up the next day and say, who's RUWASA? What are they doing there? Oh, they're the new agency that got formed because all of a sudden they realized that there's people coming into Tanzania from around the world putting in water systems and water wells. And you guys pointed out the need with the VTT and other things, our documentation and whatnot, that we didn't have anybody here to take care of all that and to monitor that. So RUWASA was formed. It was actually started at the district level, but it ran its way up the government to where it's an official agency of the government now. Now that's a pretty big impact to have, and that really made my little group there at the training session happy that they could have an example that was so powerful that we actually got recognition from there on. So that was a good one. And those are the impacts as I've listed them for other things. So if anybody wants to hear about any of the other impacts, I'll be glad to talk about them. But otherwise, we have been making an impact in Tanzania with water. That's very well documented by now. So anyway, thank you. And I'll leave Bill plenty of time, but questions?
I'd like to see that, yeah. Yeah, just wanted to see if you could put it on our internet page.
It will be on the YouTube channel.
It'll be on the YouTube channel. How's that?
Do you include the slides with that, Allison? I'll look at that. Yeah, I'll get it up there too.
Slides will be included as well.
Our people will do that. We have people for that.
Don't ask me how, but I'll figure it out.
Any other questions for Glenn right now?
Well.
Catch him afterwards if you didn't get it. You can catch Glenn afterwards if you've got a question that pops up. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you again. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. I'm going to turn the podium over to Bill Bruce. Bill's going to come up and talk about his incoming district governor and conference.
All right. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about kind of the travel I made in January to Florida to the Rotary International Assembly. Jeff was there with me. Jeff is my colleague from the northern side of Iowa. And a couple of things that I came away with, probably the most prominent thing was that at the end, we saw President Francesco, we saw President-elect Yinka, he's from Africa, he's from Italy, and then we saw President nominee Larry Lunsford, who's from Kansas City, Missouri. We won't hold that against him too much. But the three of them stood in solidarity and shared the following. Rotary has become a more complicated organization than perhaps ever in its history, and it's difficult to get everything done in 1 year. And we're evolving to where we have a team, and that team extends itself into 3-year kinds of goals and objectives. That was pretty insightful to me, because as I come into my district governor year, it's not about Bill Bruce. It's not even about the district governor. It's about our mission of we change people, and it's about our motto of service above self. So for me, I came away with that. Now, I do want to tell you on the other side, one evening, they purposefully mixed us up, and on one side of me was a gentleman from Afghanistan telling me about the specific steps they're doing in their community to eliminate polio. Now, Steve would know probably more accurately than me, but as of a couple of weeks ago, year to date, polio in the wild is a 0. Is that still correct, Steve? That's correct. Give us a round of applause. Now, at the other end of that, I sat with a couple. The gentleman, he was the district governor-elect from a district in the UK, and his wife was with him. And as the evening wore on, we did have a few beverages. And she finally leaned over to me and she said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Well, sure, you can ask me anything. I'm from Iowa." She says, "That's good." She says, "I've been watching your TV, and I want to know if your nation is filled with drug users or drug dealers, because all I see is advertisements for drugs." And of course, their system is run by their government, and they don't allow drug advertising there. Yeah, we need to get that on tape back there. So as we see Rotary moving ahead, I think the other thing that we see broadly out there is we're seeing Rotary change its view and turning to a focus on market, not on just local, but international. Glen is leading up our grants group, and thank goodness for that. He was actually introduced at our community service grants meeting this last Saturday, has already recruited 3 people to be with him. We've already met, and I think we're pretty much ready to get started, albeit with a few stumbles, as we turn the corner at July 1. So the other thing to look at is partnerships. And I think this will be maybe the beginning of many, many partnerships. But Jeff and I are partnering to look at how we can offer the annual district conference for all of Iowa. This morning I was on the phone with Isaac McNary from Kansas. He and his other district governor offer, in essence, the same venue of opportunity for everyone in Kansas. So it's not something that just is an Iowa invention. There's a lot of partnering going on, and to be very frank with you, I'm quite honored and humbled to have Jeff as a colleague, because I know that we're going to get to great things. With that, I would end with the grants. Now, we all know, how many of you in here are native Iowans? Oh, quite a bit. So we know in Iowa, we have a lot of roadways, right? We have grade B roads, the kind that are dirt. And then we move into gravel. Then we have 2-lane, and we even have some interstates. And we all start the grants process with the interstate in mind, and then it rains, and we're on a grade B road, and we're stuck in the mud. And thankfully, we have Glenn and his team to help keep us out of the mud and hopefully on the interstates. But it's a challenge. Every grant cycle presents those where we have periods of dirt road and we have periods of interstate travel and joy. In closing, I'd also like to have you give a round of applause to Steve Dakin. Steve is not only a past district governor, but he will be retiring as the lead to our foundation. Steve Schraderbacher will be taking his place. Steve, take a round. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions, but owning the microphone, you do understand that if it's a question I can't answer, I will tell you that is the easiest question I've ever heard today, and I will refer it directly to Jeff. Any questions? Yes.
George Belitsos. I'm the chair of the Rotary the District 6000 Prevent Human Trafficking Action Group.
Yes.
We've been operating for 4 years now. We have 15 Iowa clubs that belong to our group.
Okay.
And Glenn was talking about partnerships, promoting partnerships and cooperation, collaboration. This action team is a real good example of that. I'd just like to make you aware, Glenn also brought up impact. This last January was Human Trafficking Prevention Month. Our 15 clubs all went to their local city council, boards of supervisors, and asked them to declare, with Rotary proclamations written out, declaring jointly in cooperation with Rotary, with our cause of, fighting human trafficking, was all in the proclamations. We had 40 cities and counties sign off on those proclamations. So that's a real impact. Getting the message to local government that Rotary is fighting human trafficking, and please join us to make the community aware. So I just want you to, my question is, with all that introduction, what other action teams do we have fighting a cause like human trafficking, and what are you planning to do to help us?
Great question. I'll answer part of that, and I'm going to ask Jeff to answer part of that too. From a District 6000 perspective, I'm kind of a past healthcare guy, and I like things sort of laid out. And for the year coming up, Gretchen Nollman will be the district governor-elect, and Chris Nelson, who's currently at Shive Hattery in Des Moines, will be the district governor nominee. Gretchen will be the executive liaison to all of our action groups, from disaster that Steve has worked with in the past, human trafficking, the RAGMI group, all of the groups that our district works with, but we don't necessarily control. And we'll be working with all of those. So that's already on the chart from my perspective. Jeff, anything you want to add with regard to Rotary action groups? And we do have, I don't know, it's an action club, or is it what is that ski thing you do? Is that action drinking ski? Oh, you're a fellow. Okay. I like that.
I think it was maybe mentioned earlier, the Rotary action groups. That's one of the many things that makes Rotary so special. So that action group can be right here in your community, or it can be a worldwide effort, and everything in between. So Rotary isn't dictating the size, whatever. They're creating kind of that structure, and then that action group can form and do good, follow through the mission of Rotary. So what Bill and I would want to do, especially at our different district conference and along the way, is increase awareness so that more Rotarians in both of our districts understand the concept of the Rotary Action Groups and understand where in our two districts we have action groups that are actively performing to try to accomplish the mission of that action group. So increase awareness of the groups that are existing and just increase awareness of the action group concept itself.
So when you think about that awareness piece, we all have a responsibility in Rotary. I'm kind of more that left brain, former hospital administrator, MBA type. Right now in the United States of America, Rotary enjoys only a 50% awareness among the population. Add to that, only 25% understand what Rotary is. So half the time, when you say Rotary, they will have heard of the word. But only 1 in 4 understand the word. And I think all of us carry an individual and club responsibility to improve that understanding and awareness with regard to Rotary. I know that every district is working on how it transitions its image, if you will, to a digital age to reach more and more of our digital population that is coming up behind us. That will be a thing that's happening. More and more of us are looking at how we reach into communities. Dr. Greeter is here today. She's meeting with Jeff and I this afternoon to see if there's not something we can do to help families in Iowa in partnership with ISU Extension. It's a huge project. It's never been undertaken in the past. I'm looking forward to it. Other questions? Anything's fair. Except, how old is Jeff and his wife? Okay.
Okay, DG Bruce, elect.
Park asks good questions, by the way.
Yeah. Tell us about the dates and the exact location of the district conference to come that you're working with.
The district what?
The district conference dates and location, those type of details.
The date is such an easy question, it's in my phone, but I know that we have a person here in the room that can tell us in 2027. April 30th, May 1st of 2027, and it looks like we're going to head toward the Gateway. We've had a task force composed of members of this club and myself and Jeff, and we've been touring various venues, but it looks like we'll base out of the Gateway, have a lot of the classes at the Gateway, but we're also looking into maybe something special to be held in conjunction with Rotaract at Iowa State. So we'll kind of see how that plays itself out. I'd have to be honest with you and say the bulk of my work time this week is getting ready in 2 weeks for our annual PELS meeting. We've switched that for those of you that have been past presidents, again, to this notion of collaboration and fellowship and partnership. We're switching it from Newton. It will be based at the Hotel Savory in Des Moines, and then we've rented Meredith Hall at Drake University, and that's where our classes will be held. Good question, Park. President-elect Learning Seminar. How about that? I think I got that in year 1 of district governor-elect training. Jeff and I have been through about 2 years of training in preparation to be district governor. It's not something you're voted in and then you become. In fact, all of the district governor-elects in our zone, we have been meeting every month for the last 2 years, and as we went to International Assembly, as a group, we voted to continue those meetings. So this morning I was on the phone with Isaac McNary in Kansas, and talking to him about some of his initiatives. I know Jeff is on the phone with other district governor-elects as well. It is a new trend that is coming to pass, I think, with our class. Good questions. Anything else that's easy? Hearing nothing, I'll give the podium back to your club president, and we'll get out of here.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. Look forward to see what you do as district governor. We have a couple minutes here. I'm gonna give the mic to Charles Nicker to have an announcement he'd like to take a couple minutes and just share with the club. Charles?
I could do this at the brag bucket sometime. Probably don't know this woman, but I'm going to say, how many of you have gotten a $50 million grant? She has. This is Megan Sullivan. She's a professor at Notre Dame University. She is an expert on a topic I'll bet we all know about or want to know more about, AI. And she is running programs for how groups together, including Rotary, faith groups, can work together. And she will come here, and we had a plan so far in advance. This is going to be in October. And compared to last year, by the way, the sponsoring group is a theologian in residence. And she says, I'm not a theologian. I'm more of a philosopher. But she has this wonderful program about getting groups to go together. But it'll be in October 15th. We'll be at the university. And they're working out the details now about what it is to be more human in an increasingly AI world. It's a topic I think everybody, and I know the university already, the lectures committee is really excited about her. So we want you to put it on your agenda. And I do have a few more details about it for that weekend. We'll have programs that whole weekend with her. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that info. I'll leave you with this today. Keep in mind that life is fleeting, so let's make every day count. And with that, of the things we think, say, or do, please rise. Do the four-way test with me. Is it the truth? Is it the spirit for all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And number 5, did you have fun? Thank you, everyone.